So,
Yeah, man.
all right. Well, good morning, guys. We are live for our YouTube pre-market analysis, and good morning to everyone in the live trading room. Hey, it is Friday. Let's close out the week strong. Monday we have off. It is President's Day, if I'm not mistaken, and the markets are closed on Monday. So we're gonna have a nice little long weekend before we come back together and regroup on Tuesday. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. There's a lot of market activity, and I think it's just fair to just start off with the pot stocks. We've been trading the pot stocks all week long, and look at Tilray, guys, down to 28 bucks. So, it's crazy because on Monday I swung Tilray from $26, sold it at 36. Granted, it rallied up to 77, so I missed 40 points of it. But look, I don't feel that bad anymore. It's down to 28 bucks. So, you know what? At the end of the day, I feel good with how I handled my swing. Granted, missed a big move, but hey, we all knew where this was coming down to. So, look at it now. Um, Tilray might just bleed out a little bit more, and the rest of the pot stocks. So I'm going to possibly look for a short on it. ACB did report earnings yesterday. It was trading higher in after hours to like 16 plus, but look at it now, trading down to $13. So with Tilray, with ACB, if it can really hold this bear flag, which I doubt it's going to be able to, you can short it here with stops at like 13.30, very small risk. But if it breaks it before the market opens, then we're just gonna have to wait for another entry point on it. If we do see a rally on ACB, I would need to see it break above 13.42 to get excited to go long, maybe for like a bounce trade. You know what I mean? But I am more short biased on the pot stocks today. So with that being said, I'll be looking more for a short entry on ACB. And with Tilray, it's a little difficult right now because it's already made such a big move to the downside. So I would love to see Tilray pop, from like short covering, and then if we can see it curl down around, break the low a day, go in for the short, right? And then bring this sucker back down. Let's see what target we can hit on Tilray here. The moving averages, well, it's sitting on his 13 MA, which is 28.80. So that would be the first target. But then if it breaks that, second target, 26 to $25. So if we can get that on Tilray, that'd be a nice move to the downside. I am going to preferably short with equity on Tilray because the put options, they have a wide spread. Taj, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday you said the spread had like a dollar or $2 spread on Tilray.
Yeah, right at the open with the options contracts.
Yeah,
$2
that spread is a little crazy because you get 10 contracts, you're down $1,000 to $2,000 already just based on the spread. So that's not a type of risk that I like to take. So I'd rather just try to short with equity. I did experience, unfortunately, yesterday I tried shorting Tilray with equity and Merrill Edge rejected my request. That just means they couldn't find shares for me to borrow against. So that's another thing. Center Point, I wouldn't have that issue. So that's another reason why I'm looking at a different broker when it comes to day trading. So Tilray and ACB are going to be on my A list for today. Another stock, honestly, guys, the overall S&P 500. There's a little bit of weakness. There's a little bit of topping occurring if you look at the daily chart. It's been struggling a little bit to break out of that 392, 393 area. So I'm going to see if there's some weakness in the market today to go in for some puts. I really hope that today is not a choppy day. Like yesterday, we tried shorting the S&P 500 twice, and then I got chopped up, and then at like 12 o'clock, it flushed. It made the move. I could have made bank on that flush had we gotten the move when we were initially shorting it. But, c'est la vie, right? It is what it is. So, but I will be watching the S&P 500. Another name that I'm going to be watching is Moderna. It did gap up a little bit. Now it's kind of like selling off. There's some news with the United States government on a procurement of more vaccines. So I'm watching Moderna today. Not much pre-market action, but if I see a break above 186, I'll go long it, put stops at like 185 or 184, give it a little bit of range. If it just decides to flush, I'm going to look for that break below 183. And it's got a little bit of support here at 182.68. If it breaks that, then it's definitely coming to the downside on it. Virgin Galactic, yesterday, a couple of our traders made bank on that breakout of 57 to 58, rallied up to $60+. Congratulations to you guys. But look at it today, down to 52.70. So that just goes to show you that sometimes just day trade the damn market. You swinging stocks, you're gonna have to stomach the volatility that comes with the stocks, and that's why as day traders, man, I can outbeat any freaking financial advisor because I don't have to deal with the volatility of the ups and downs. I can short, I can go long, and I can make double the returns a financial advisor will give anybody, right? And Taj, same would say the same exact thing. So space, I like it because there's a lot of range in it. It closed yesterday at 59.41, down to 52.65. So I want to see if we can get some sort of bounce on it, and if it just wants to sell off, then hey man, let's go in for that short. So right now it's sitting on the daily chart. It's sitting on its 13 MA. If it fails 52.28, this thing can come back down, probably test like $50. And if it really sells off, which I highly doubt if it does anymore, but if it does, I'm looking at the 20 MA on the daily, $46, right? I highly doubt that's going to happen today, but those are the daily support ranges that I'm seeing, right, when it comes to the moving averages. Nonetheless, space is in play today. I'm going to be watching it on my A list. I've got a mega cap stock that I really want to watch today, Disney. Disney actually reported really good earnings. Really good earnings. I'm going to watch it today. There's a little bit of market weakness. Market's gapping down a bit and S&P selling off. So if Disney does decide to sell off, I'm going to look for it to see if it breaks 192. If it breaks 192, I'm going in for the short, gap fill it, maybe even trade back down to 190, 189. The problem with Disney is that it's had such a run up. Look at the daily chart on Disney. I mean, come on. The stock was trading at when it broke out of that 150 range, remember, with that prior earnings report, had such a big gap up, and then today, I mean, just look at the past like 2 weeks. It ran up 20 points. So a lot of analysts are saying that, Disney has already made the move into earnings, which is why Disney is not gapping up as much. So I am a little bit short bias on Disney, but if it decides to go for a bid and run up, I want to see that breakout of 194, 194.50 area. It did get a lot of good price target upgrades in the 200 plus range. So let's see. We just trade the charts and see what direction it wants to take. So Disney is going to be on my A list. One small cap that I really like or biotech is INO. So INO got a price target upgrade from Morgan Stanley to, it slipped my mind. What was the price target upgrade here? $35. $35 from Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, I really like them. Even if you guys wanted to swing this would be a hell of a swing too. I like it. First target, $19 on that swing. So I think it's a good play. On a day trade perspective, if it could reclaim $15.90, $16, I don't mind going long, putting stops at like $15.50. First target, pre-market high, $17.20, right? If it fails and falls below $15, you can go in for a short. I highly doubt this trade is gonna sell off today. That's a big price target upgrade. It closed yesterday at $13, and this analyst is saying it should be at 35. So I like that. I like that move. I'm more long biased on this one, but that's what I'm thinking here. Last one, then I'm gonna pass it on to Taj. CCIV. CCIV. There's some chatter that they're buying stake from I think from a hedge fund, if I'm not mistaken, for Lucid Motors. That's the rumor, right? That Lucid Motors was going to merge with CCIV. So there's a lot of chatter there, a lot of volatility on CCIV. I like it. If it breaks below this pre-market low, 33.60, 33.50 area, going in for the short. If we can reclaim 34.35, going in for the bounce, going long. So that's what I see here. Looking at the time, Taj, let me pass it on to you, bro.
All right, so my number one setup was actually going to be QS. You mentioned the swing trade.
Oh, look at
I really like
damn.
the chart. Yeah, and so as you were talking, it had a nice bull flag form here, right at 49.80, and I was gonna say that's the entry. And look at this. Look at the risk reward you would have made on this. I mean, you're long at 49.80, stops are at 49.50. That's 30 cents, bro. You're up. I mean, what, 5 R's, 6 R's at this point? So that would have been a really nice setup. So QS is obviously moving today. You just had a big volume spike. We're gonna have to wait for a better entry. So we'll probably have to wait until the market opens before we can really start to pinpoint exactly where we want to get in.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, QS is still going to be one of the top names that I watch. I really, really like the setup. Another name I'll be watching is a name that we traded yesterday, and that's Riot. Another one of the good old crypto names. So Riot had a nice run up during the pre-market hours. Broke out of this bull flag here around $47. Ran up to 48.70. Has been a little weak since around 8:55, 9 o'clock. However, it's still in a bullish stance. It's still gapping up 3 points from yesterday's close. So the way I see it, if it can reclaim around 46.80, we could look for a long. However, if it starts to break down below 46, we can play it short. Throw stops around 46.70, 46.80. So Riot is also going to be one of the names at the top of my list. I really like the way that it was moving yesterday. Made some really good money off of it. So I'll be definitely keeping an eye on that. I will be taking a very close look at ACB as well. I love what it's doing down here. It is bear flagging to the max.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right off of its 20 MA. The 8 MA is right here as well. So if we can hold these price levels right before the open, we can play it short, literally at $13. We get a break at 13. We can throw our stops around 13.30, 13.40. You want to give it a little more wiggle room. And let's see where it can go. I mean, I don't see any support until 12.56. The 8 MAs at 12, or the 20 MAs at 12.57. So that's, in that case, that's an easy 2-1 potential play on Aurora Cannabis. And the nice thing about ACB is that if you play it with options contracts, the spreads are fairly tight, especially once you compare it to Tilray, where the spreads can be, $2 right out of the gates. So I really do like ACB as well. INO, Lenovo, is another one that I really like. Had a huge spike earlier today. Rallied up from yesterday's close up to $13, up to $17. There was some news on it. They had a $35 price target upgrade with Oppenheimer. So it's ways away from $13 or from $35.
Right.
So that's a 200% price target upgrade. So the way I see it is if it can break above around 1570, around 1570, 1580, we can play it long. If it starts breaking below 15, possibly look for a short, right? But I'm a little more to the long bias for this name. Of course, still got to keep an eye on Gamestop. And the main reason I really want to keep an eye on Gamestop is look at the daily. So right now, this is the first time since we've been having the sell-off that the 8 MA has actually caught up to price action.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So what does that mean? Well, look what's happening down here on the daily chart, right? Let me zoom out a little bit more. You're having a nice bear flag form here. Remember that day it randomly shot up to $95? Rejected, right? Hit a low, 46, hit a low, 46, hit a low, 48. So that 46 to 48 range is where there's really a lot of support, right? But now, the 8 MA is at $64. So what's going to happen is once price opens, you're going to see that 8 MA start to creep down a little more. And if we can get the 8 MA to knock price back down, I think you could definitely see Tilray come back down, or not Tilray, GameStop come back down to that $30+ price level.
Yeah.
It's going to continue to sell off. So I'll just be keeping an eye on GameStop. It's not on my A list, but I want to see if we can start having some sell-off happen initially. If you do want to jump the gun on it, you could potentially short it here at 50.30. Throw your stops around, 50, 90, 50, 80, and see if you can test the pre-market lows. Pre-market lows are $49. Yesterday's low is 48. After that, 46 is going to be the key area. And if it breaks 46, I mean, this thing's done. It's going to free fall from here. And I think you're going to see a lot more selling pressure on GameStop. So I'll be keeping a very close eye on GameStop. It's more so on my B list, but if it starts trading lower, it'll definitely be converted to my A list. Another name I want to keep an eye on is a name that we've been trading pretty often lately, and that's Neo, right? And the main reason I want to keep an eye on Neo is because Neo has just been moving lately, right? Yesterday we had continuation to the downside. It took a while for it to play out. We initially played it long, made some nice profits, and then I think you guys caught the short in the afternoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, I did.
As it started to fell off. Yep. So Neo's actually gapping down a little bit more. It's gapping down to 59.90. Not too bad, 60. What is this? 30-cent gap down. So not anything too bad. But you're starting to get some bottoming action here. And if you look at it, the averages are starting to catch up. The 8 MA is starting to catch back up. So could this potentially be the support that Neo needed? Right. Remember, this was a strong rally out of the gates. Right, from this $56 price area. We rallied all the way back up to 64.60, right, which was resistance at 64.52. So temporarily, it was rejected. However, what happens in round two, right? What happens if we can creep back up to that level? And today could potentially be that day with Neo. So the way I see it, I mean, it's kind of breaking out of this flag now, so we'd have to wait for it to break, pretty much $60 to look for a potential long. But, if it starts breaking down to like 59.40, 59.50, you could potentially look for a short and throw your stops around $60. But I really like Neo. I really just want to see what it can do today overall. Also, I don't really trade this stock, but Futu looks really good. Futu is getting destroyed right now. Closed yesterday at 157.34. Currently trading at 142. It was forming a bear flag earlier, right here, and it's just now breaking the bear flag. So the short was right here around 142 and some change. And now we're getting a little bit of follow through and see if it can continue to the downside. But if you look at Futu on the 5 minute, it's trending nicely off of the 8 MA.
Yeah.
Right? Every time it touches it, immediately knocked down. Touches it, immediately knocked down. So if that's going to be the theme for Futu, and you feel comfortable trading this stock, definitely look for the opportunity, right? See if you can get a setup with it because Futu has plenty of room to the downside. The 8 MA is all the way down at 134, right? Stock is currently trading at 142. That's still an $8 difference compared to the stock. So one thing to keep in mind with Futu though, just as like a little warning, is try to refrain from trading options contracts with Futu because the spreads can be extremely wide.
Extremely. Yeah.
So it's nothing for Futu to have a $2, sometimes even $3 spread. So trade it with equity. You're gonna trade it just so you can protect yourself for the potential of that happening. That is something that's very important with options contracts, is to make sure that you're not getting into too many names that have a large spread because that could hurt you.
Yep. 100%.
So QS looks like it had a little pullback here. So the way I see it as of now, if it starts breaking out above 52, you can play it there. Those stops around 51. It's about $1 risk. See if you can catch a rally. We do have a little bit of resistance around 52.87. However, the real resistance, strong resistance, isn't until around $60 on the daily chart. So there's plenty of room to the upside for QS. And let's play this. There's a lot of volume being traded on this stock. So, let's see what it can do. Last name that I'll be talking about is Apple. This is going to more so be on my B list. I really like the pre-market setup that it has. It's having a bear flag setup. As of now, you could play the short right here around 134.30. Play stops around 134.50. So you're looking at about a 20-cent risk off of Apple right out of the gate. And there's really no support until around 133.77. So you have a path easily towards 1-1, if not 2-1, down the Apple. And if the market starts getting in trouble, looks like the market's gapping down about $1. then obviously Apple's going to follow suit, right? Apple's going to be one of the leaders when it comes to that. So if you want to get an early jump on it and see if a small risk or potential big reward playing the market short, look no further than Apple, because I think you have a nice setup here out of the gates. But other than that, man, that's my list. I think keep an eye on pot stocks, QS, INO, a couple of other names you mentioned, CCIV. We got a good amount of solid setups. Try not to get chopped up. The markets start going back and forth. Let's identify that, right? Let's use learn from our experiences this week and not get chopped up, right?
That's exactly right, man. Well, with that being said, for everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button and that subscribe button so you can follow us every single day. Have a great long weekend. We'll see you all on Tuesday.